Welcome to our new Madden series. It's called From Good to Greatness. We're going to teach you every single thing you need to know about Madden in order to take your game to the next level. Football is a very complex sport, but little by little, we're going to give you the necessary knowledge in order for you to excel at any Madden that you play. This is Chapter 1, Learning the Defensive Coverages. Let's get started.
Yeah, y'all ready to play some football? Let's go. If you want it, you can get it. Let me know. I'm about to break this thing up.
What's going on, everybody? It's Litezout from MaddenDaily.com, and the first thing that we're going to break down from our new Madden series, From Good to Greatness, is learning the defensive coverages. Now, the first coverage that we're going to break down is cover 2. There's two different types of cover 2 defenses, one being cover 2 man or 2-man under, or cover 2 zone. This video, we're going to strictly break down cover 2 man, but it's very important to mix in both into your scheme to really confuse your opponent. I'm just going to break down the basic structure of the defense, the strengths and weaknesses, and then in the next video, we're going to take an advanced look and how to make adjustments on defense to take this defense to a whole nother level. All right, so here we're going to filter the plays by concepts. I'm not sure how you all pick plays on defense, but what advanced players do is they pick it by formation. And we're going to get into detail with that as the videos go on. But just for now, we're going to filter it by concepts, go to cover 2 man, and here's all of the cover 2 man plays in your playbook. Now, what does cover 2 mean exactly? It just simply means that you have two guys playing deep. The free safety on the left is playing the left half, and the right safety, the strong safety, is playing the right half. In cover 2 man, every single receiving target is going to be guarded by a man defender. And another name, like I mentioned, for cover 2 man is 2-man under. That means that the guys guarding the receivers are going to play underneath pretty much the receivers with no fear of getting beat over the top, since they have a deep safety over the top of them for safety help. Your man defenders will play man coverage differently in a cover 2 man than they would in a cover 1 or a cover 0, because they could take more chances. So you'll see a lot more picks or your corners actually breaking routes than you would see in cover 1 or cover 0. We'll get into those coverages in a little bit, but that's what it means 2-man under. Let's break down some strengths of the cover 2 man defense. First of all, the flats are going to be covered really well because the running backs are both guarded. It's great against deep routes, vertical routes. A big play that's used is 4 verticals. That means 4 guys, 4 receivers going deep. 2-man under, cover 2 man is great with that because everyone's guarded, plus you have help over the top on each side. This is essentially the best defense against the user catch, or what's really big in Madden 15 is the face catch. In cover 2 man, the corners are going to be pressed. They are going to bump the outside receivers. Now, even if that outside receiver breaks off the bump, we have the safety over the top for help. So against a vertical route like this, he's going to be double teamed every single time. It's important to match your defensive personnel with your opponent's offensive formation. So if your opponent's coming out in a 4 receiver set, you want to come out in at least nickel, but probably dime coverage. Now, we'll break down into more detail, nickel, dime, quarters, all that. But what's going to happen when you do match up personnel, you're going to have corners on receivers. You don't want to have a linebacker on a receiver, especially when they're going deep. Here's a 4 vertical look. You could see it's completely locked down. The slot receiver was double teamed by that strong safety on the right. 4 verticals kills cover 2 and cover 3 zone. So mixing in cover 2 man into your scheme is definitely essential against people that like to go deep. This is generally great for vertical defense, unless you have our membership, because we showed you how to kill cover 2 man with 4 verticals, but that's besides the point. Cover 2 man is also great against screens, any type of screen, wide receiver screens, tight end screens, and even halfback slip screens. Man-to-man defense is the best at stopping all of that, especially cover 2 man, because like I said, since there's safety help over the top, the man defenders will play a lot more aggressive on the ball than they would with cover 1 or cover 0. The middle linebacker is assigned to the running back playing man-to-man defense, and you're going to see that he's going to completely bypass the pulling lineman going from left to right, and he's going to be in perfect position for you to click on and make the tackle. Other than face catching, user catching, seam routes, and screens, cover 2 man is also great against a lot of routes that are specifically designed to beat zone coverage. There's a lot of route combos in this game to flood the zones or flood the areas. But if we're not in zone defense, that's not really going to matter. There's also a lot of zone concepts used to space out the field, which would, if we would be in zone, space the zones out. But since everyone's manned up, no matter how they're spacing the field, our defender is going to be locked onto their receiver. This is one of the best bend but don't break defenses to call. It's going to be very hard for your opponent to get 20 plus yards with this play. That's why it's great on 3rd and 4th and long, especially if you make simple adjustments like having a hook zone in the middle of the field and a purple buzz zone on the side where you think a corner route could be going. Corner routes and crossing routes are the 2 main weaknesses of a cover 2 man defense, especially to the tight end, because tight ends in Madden are unbumpable. The only way to bump a tight end is if the defensive lineman throws him off his route right away before he breaks into his route. But as you can see, as soon as the tight end makes its cut to the outside, he's going to have separation on essentially any man defender. There are also unbumpable crossing routes in this game that are great against man press. Now, besides those crossing routes, drag routes and even slant routes are great against man defense as well. All of these routes will get even more open if your route running and beat press rating to that receiver you're throwing to is better than their press rating and man coverage rating. Someone like Calvin Johnson that has better route running and beat press than the typical receiver is going to get open a lot more often and a lot more separation than a typical receiver would. So you see, as Johnson breaks, he has at least 3 yards on Sean Smith. Throw a bullet pass to the inside, he's going to make that catch every time. Now look at the difference between him and our slot receiver. He barely gets open. He really isn't open. And that's why it's important to match personnel, because you want to have a cornerback on their slot receiver. You don't want to have a safety or a linebacker, or else that slant would be open no matter who the receiver was. While crossing routes and corner routes get the most open against man coverage, post routes, in routes, out routes, double moves, angled routes all get open against man coverage as well if you have high route running rating. It's impossible to use cover 2 man all game because there's too many routes that beat it. However, it is mandatory to mix in, especially if they have a receiver that needs to be double teamed or a receiver that's so fast he's going to beat his defender over the top without safety help. In the next video, we're going to show you advanced adjustments you can make to cover 2 man to make it successful against great opponents. Part 2 to cover 2 man will be out tomorrow. We're going to make this cover 2 man defense a whole lot better. Please hit that like button if you're enjoying so far. Subscribe if you're new. And until next time, it's Lights Out from MaddenDaily.com. Later!